Hello and welcome to Morning Wood. I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays, and this is Detroit Lenny. It's a Thursday. That means Ross Benjamin's going to be on the show just a little bit later on today. You guys feel free to file in here and ask him any questions you might have about handicapping sports. Don't forget also to like and subscribe, ring that bell for notifications as you're filing on in here. And of course, don't forget about Caesars Sportsbook, up to $1,500 in a risk-free first bet. Just use the promo code MORNING15 or check out the description of the video and you can find the link. That'll get you hooked right up. I need my Caesars back. I meant to go put money in and I didn't do it. And last night I ran into that hedging issue with that parlay. I was so frustrated. I was like, are they just doing this to the Angels game so I can't hedge my parlay?
When you text me, I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm not going to lie, the edibles had kicked in and I was mid-hockey. You know what I mean? So I won't even lie, but I was like, what's she talking about? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember she had this issue type thing or whatever. And I'm like, let me look this up. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, look at this. Am I missing something here? It was not on there. It was not on there. So I don't know. It's just. Yeah, MGM is weird like that about live some stuff.
It was on every single other book that I had. So that's what was like really throwing me off. I wasn't sure if like the book was blocking me, if there was some algorithm that because I already had this that I couldn't have this or what the deal was. Some of the parlays were able to get it on their BetMGM. I think Julie got it in Tennessee.
Okay. Figures. Damn.
But yeah, Circa had it, Caesars had it, BOL had it, and
everybody
the only book I needed to have it
right
didn't have it. So that happened. A lot of the games have already started already. Let's do some talking. So if you're in the last Woody standing, obviously you cannot pick one of these games unless you have done it already on the Facebook page.
Yes.
But we've got the Marlins
right now. There's a lot of people that filled in already on the Facebook that are on games that have already started. So,
yeah, I see.
I'm putting them in right now so we can have a accurate. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right. Accuracy is important.
Not
one more day for your birthday. Your birthday's tomorrow.
I just didn't get out of bed today. I just didn't. I'm in that, like, all that keeps repeating in my head is the Bruno Mars Lazy Day song. Like, I just don't feel like doing anything. And I just woke up, like, my kids left till Sunday. They went with his sister or whatever to Utah for Sunday. So we got no kids. It's just me. And I just figured, I didn't feel like I woke up today. Like they left at like 7 o'clock this morning. So you had to get up and get them up. And then I'm laying in bed and I'm like, I'm like, wheels are processing. I'm like, how do I tell Allie? I'm like, do I not have internet today? I'm like, maybe I just, you know what? I can just tell her I don't feel like doing anything. And she's cool with it. Like, she get it. And I'm like, nah, Lenny, lazy fat ass, get up. You only got 2. Like, I had this whole conversation with myself in my so.
What's up, Jared?
Yeah. So
mine is the Sublime song that I ain't getting out of bed today. I ain't getting out of bed. That's the song that plays in my head.
And then Mandy was all like, are you getting up today? It was like, 9:30 or whatever, and the show starts at 10 o'clock our time. And it was like 9:00. She's like, are you getting out of bed today? And I'm like, jury's still out. I'm like, I don't know yet.
Stay tuned.
And she's
we'll
see. Get your ass out of bed. What are we going to do today? I'm like, well, I'm going to work. I'm like, you got to work? I'm like, she goes, what do you want to do for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, well, I feel dumb. My wife doesn't know how to cook for just the 2 of us kind of thing. It's like she cooks for a small army or not at all, So I'm like, I don't know, maybe we'll go out to dinner tonight or something. And she's like, oh, where? And I'm like, I don't know, Mandy. We don't know how to act without kids.
Right. Aw. Well, I hope you guys have a rocking time. I'm sure you'll find some kind of trouble to get into.
Oh, I'm trying to save it until tomorrow night and Saturday night. I'm really trying to take it easy. I don't know if that's going to work, but
Well, let me know if you don't want to come to work tomorrow because it's your birthday.
I know.
I took a whole week off for my birthday, so I could give you a Friday, I guess.
I figured you'd be cool with like the day.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm on the over in this game.
In the Astros?
Yeah, I've already bet it, and Brian Dance, I mean, good luck to you and all that. I mean, maybe it'll whatever, but Valdez and Talon on the mound, really good pitchers for both pretty decent offenses. I've just got to, Richie P. If Richie P's been tracking my gut plays, I just like that. I got no reason, no data to support that whatsoever. But I feel like that game's going over.
Yeah, I was looking at the Astros nerfy too. I took Astros first 5. I might be overzelling, but I took the Astros first 5, and I took them full game on the run line in a 3-teamer. Hold on, this cat has cat business. He needs
Cat's got problems, folks.
Get lost, applesauce.
The whole ass animal shelter.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm so over it.
Dogs. Are you gonna get rodents, snakes?
No, I have caterpillars. Did I tell you about the caterpillar situation?
No. Please,
so Escher's, our neighbor, here they are right here. Our neighbor wanted, well, they're green, so you can't see them. Yeah. But she had a whole bunch of caterpillars on her tomato plants, so she paid Escher $20 to go over there and pick them all off. Now I have 15 freaking caterpillars in a big pot outside. It's either going to be a caterpillar farm or a caterpillar graveyard, and I'm going to lean
caterpillars
the graveyard
because I had tomatoes and jalapeno peppers in a thing in the flower thing for Mandy last year, whatever we grew, and we got these things for the leaves. The leaf is like, how it's like kind of curved. They sit under the leaf. They're green in with the plant, so you really can't see them, but they look like a caterpillar. So the kids named them Franklin. We captured one, put them in a jar, a stick, and a leaf, and like tried to let them grow, but he didn't do anything. They're not caterpillars. They eat your plants. So if her leaves look like they're eaten, that's what they're doing. We just found one 2 days ago. Me and my sister in our rose bushes in the front. Franklin's. My sister's like, Leonard, we have a Franklin, yelling at me, and I'm like, Franklin. So that's our code for caterpillars eating all that shit.
Is that your gut play? Over 8 on the Stros?
Yeah, I don't hate that. That would probably be it out of everything. Because everything else, that's the only real true underdog kind of, or I don't know if a gut plays an underdog. Gut plays just a feeling. I got
just a feeling. I don't have, I keep putting leaves into the caterpillars area, and they're not eating any of the leaves I'm putting in there, which explains why I don't have caterpillars in my backyard, because I don't have plants that caterpillars want to eat. So eventually these caterpillars are going to die of starvation in this large jar.
You got to get a little stick and a cup, like the leaves from a tomato plant, or like a jalapeno plant goes the same as like a.
Yeah, but I don't have those. I'm not planting a jalapeno plant or a tomato plant, especially because I don't eat jalapenos or tomatoes, just to feed caterpillars that I don't actually want. Just seems like the long way around the barn. We're going to let them die.
It could be, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mariners? I liked Seattle today. Padres, Yankees. I like the Astros today, but I'm a homer in this one, so it's just where I'm going with it.
It's fair.
But I mean, Astros, they've been smashing on the Mets. They're not doing such a bad job themselves. I've been less impressed with the Yankees, but the Yankees at home, their stat is like 21-7 or something like that.
I just think once we get, Valdez give up like 3, Allen give up like 3. We're already at 6. Say they give up 5, 6 total between the two of them. I really only need a couple runs out of the bullpen in a small park like the stadium. I think I can get some. I think I can get over 8. So that was thought on that.
I would lean over also because both of these guys, the bats are swinging. You know, they don't like each other. They're here to they're going to play. They're always neck and neck in the AL. So what is it? Here it is. 29-7, the Yankees at home. Is not a
and
joke. 23-14, the Astros on the road, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say the other side of that, Astros 23-40. That's not horrible. I mean, it's not. I mean, so
and the Astros made short work of the Mets, whereas the Yankees were struggling a bit with those Rays. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
El Capitan. Padres, I took a 6-team parlay yesterday, everyone. It was I felt dirty. I still feel dirty. But Elliot V and I go back and forth on baseball plays, and he had sent me on accident this 6-team parlay, and he was telling his buddy, put $40 on this. And I was like, damn, if they're going to put $40 on a 6-teamer, he must really like it. So just out of, boredom and degeneracy, I threw $2 on it to win 35, and it happened. Nice. So Elliot today, I'm telling you that because this is whose plays I'm going to give you. Elliot today has the Mariners, Dodgers run line, Padres, and Braves all in a parlay. But he was asking about Mariners and Padres are both in that parlay. Chill Will.
My handicap 10 plays are Padres money line and Dodgers run line. So I like both of those. I like both of them actually on the run line. Dodgers are up 1-0 into the second. So I just think the Reds are they're in two different categories, Dodgers and the Reds. So
yeah,
for me, it's been Dodgers running every game they played against the Reds.
I feel dirty, Chill Will. I feel dirty. I took the Reds on the run line, and I took that game over 9. Oh, the Stimmy play was the Alouettes plus 3.5. Did you get that? Did he send it to you?
Yeah, I think he said it on Game Time. I didn't bet it yesterday. I don't know how that
for today.
Oh, today? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, today's Thursday. Night. He did. Yes, that's I have not bet that yet.
I bet it.
Nick Earl liked that, too.
Guardians
he likes the Jets, too.
He likes who?
He likes the Montreal Alouettes. Nick Earl.
Oh, okay, perfect.
We were talking about that yesterday. At first glance yesterday, I kind of leaned the other way, but I might get on a total as far as that goes. So I don't know. I might just tread lightly today. Stick with my.
I got a lot of drunk alley action going on.
Yeah, I kind of got.
Like I had to write it all on a piece of paper. Like that's how much. So I'm not always scrolling through my bet slip.
I kind of went down in a blaze of glory with some hockey last night. So
that's right. You were saying that.
But I mean, I'm like, had a bad day in hockey. I was happy on the Lightning. I did that. So it is what it is.
Pedro hit 4 round robins yesterday.
This dude's on fire. Let me just tell you, this is people.
Well, I was going to say send me your picks, but if I start betting on them, you won't cash them. So don't do that.
Well, there's that.
Oh, the 4-teamer will here. Oh, this is from Elliot V. I'll type it in. It was Padres, Dodgers run line, Mariners, and one more little puppy, Braves. But that one already started anyway, so you can't get in on that. So there's that. And then Stimmy's play was the Montreal Alouettes, and he had 2 WNBAs also.
The Alouettes game, the Canadian football, I like. In fact, I'm doing it right now. I don't know why. You can hold it up. 2-team teaser, 6-point teaser. Football's back. I'm going to take the Alouettes +9, Alouettes +9, and over 7.5 on a teaser, because I can get 20 points from each team, and it'll be a closer game. So that's a -110. I'll take that all damn day.
Okay, I'm going to type that in. Hold on, let me give. This is Stimmy OG.
On that right now.
That's his. This one is Elliot. V sugar. V boom boom. Allie, why can't we just type like we do it every day of our lives? Okay, and what's your teaser?
Montreal Alouettes +9 and over 37.5. Eddie Sanchez, yes, you're still in last Woodies standing, and I already got you on the Yankees money line. I saw it on Facebook.
Okay, we got it. All right, Ross Benjamin, our special guest, is here. So let us bring him in. I'm trying to find the banners and all that jazz. Okay, bring him on in. Hey, Ross Benjamin, how's it going, friend?
Hey, girl, what's going on?
Not a lot of, doing what we do, talking sports.
Yeah, man.
I remembered to send the link.
Hey, you know what? Nobody circles the wagons like Detroit Lenny, a.k.a. Leonard Wenson, the first junior.
Leonard Donald Wenson.
Donald Wenson.
He loves it when
Ross, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, his birthday's tomorrow.
I need a birthday pick.
Yeah. As long as you weren't going to ask me for a birthday kiss, you got me a little worried there for a second.
Just birthday spankings, Ross. Just spankings.
Hey,
Like,
is Ellie going to go to your birthday party since you didn't go to her?
Jesus Christ, Ross. You just can't stop in the pocket, can you? Thanks, Ross. Thanks for that. I'm out.
Man. I couldn't resist that one, you know?
Yep. He deserved it. He deserved that.
I know. Listen, Allison, if I was in Las Vegas, I would have been there.
I know that for sure. Chip came. The old Chipper came.
Yeah. How was your brunch with Chip? Did you go to brunch the other day?
No, we didn't do it. I didn't feel good. I had it was a weird Saturday night, and I just woke up and was not feeling like doing anything pretty much.
I was looking forward to hearing some funny stories about that, but
we'll go this Sunday. It's an every Sunday thing. So
yeah,
I'm sure I'll see him this Sunday. He owes me money for my birthday.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm rich now.
He's told me he was going to give you $100 bet. He was going to book $100 bet from you.
He did, and I cashed it.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was the Warriors +4.
That's a beautiful
the Warriors
thing.
+4. Yeah, so he owes me money, that Chipper. I don't know how to collect him. Like, do I just keep going? Are you like my new sports book? Is this like a way that
take
we
the
do
100
this?
and run, Ellie.
Yeah, take the money and run.
100 and run. Yeah, make him pay for that outlandish challenge.
Yeah, it was just a 6-teamer. I had a 6-team parlay last night, which I never ever do, but I actually cashed it.
Wow.
I was so frustrated because the final game, I almost left the Angels off of the card because I'm not jiggy with the Angels right now. But the reason I kept it on was because it was the late game and I would be able to hedge it. I figured I could get plus money on the Royals if I got that far down the line, and I did. And then the book I used, that game was not live. They would not let me bet it live. And all 3 of my other books, it was up. I could have taken action elsewhere, but the only book that I had money on, I couldn't, and it really ticked me off, but I didn't need to hedge it anyway. So there's that. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Lenny. 49. He's so big. Yeah. So big. What are you looking at today? I've got a lot of three.
I got 3 picks going tonight in at sports at picksandparlays.net, excuse me. And 2 totals in a run line. And I've been doing awfully well on the run lines of late, 9-2 with my last 11. You know, Ellie, I probably made more run line picks this year than I had all of last year, just because these lopsided money lines that we've been seeing consistently, where it just seems like daily half the board or more, it consists of money line favorites of -150 or greater.
Mm-hmm. It's just not the way to do it. Are you big on laying the 1.5 or taking the 1.5?
I'm big on laying the 1.5, and especially at plus money.
Nick Earl and I were doing some quick math about yesterday while we were doing free picks about how taking, what is it? Like the Dodgers 37 and something. If they win the game, they win by the run line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's some kind, 75% of the time is what Nick was saying. Like 75% of the time, if you take the favorite on the run line, they would have it cashes.
Yeah, is that just for this year? I don't think that would be the case for.
No, it's this year.
Just the Dodgers you're talking about, specifically the Dodgers, or all teams?
It was two different conversations we were having at the same time, so I'm not exactly sure. Definitely the Dodgers, but I want to say that 75. I want to say it was.
I'm pretty sure that's the Dodgers, because I know that they were even higher than that up until a couple weeks ago when they went into a little bit of a funk offensively. But yeah, I mean, for example, Joe Musgrove goes tonight for San Diego Padres. He's 11-1 and his team starts this year. And 9 of those 11 wins have come by 2 runs or more. So, you'll get a lot of people, the pundits will tell you that, a lot of games end up as a 1-run decision either way. And I agree with that. But by the same token, you got to pick your spots, and you'll go broke this year laying these big money line favorites if that's the way you like to go. I mean, you might have some short-term success, Allie, but over the long haul, you're going to lose a lot of money betting on favorites every day of -155, -170. I saw a handicapper put out a -200 the other day, and somebody who I thought very highly of, and I just scratched my head. I don't know how you can give that to the general, your customer or clients. I mean, I wouldn't even bet on a -200 myself, let alone give it to a client. So, it's just not smart money management.
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's, that's part of why people throw things into parlays, but it's almost like you're trying to get value out of a -200 by adding 2 other -200s to it, which just makes the entire thing even more risky than it kind of was in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, the Braves are up 6-1 on the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Look at that. It's okay. It's okay.
I've got action. Dodgers are up 3-0 on the Reds.
Talking about run line picks, I mean, that would be a huge plus money. Although, they're in that range. They were in that range of 138 to 1. I don't know what you got them at, Ellie, but -138 to -140. So right around the periphery is where I like to go. But
I have the over.
You have the over. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
Sorry, I was reading several things at once there.
That's okay.
I crashed over at my mom's house last night, and it's like that whole sleep on the couch. I didn't really get to sleep thing, and I'm groggy, so I apologize if I'm a little off my game today.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We all have those days, Anybody who says they don't is a liar. Yeah.
So here's a question. And guys, if you have any questions for Ross, throw them into the chat. Let us know. Wood kept slipping on the mound. Braves just ate him up. Oh, well, that's going to happen to you. That is going to happen. How do odds makers become odds makers?
How do odds makers become odds makers?
Like, what's the line of succession that you get to?
Well, usually odds makers, first of all, they're mathematical geniuses for the most part. Secondly, I would say that 90% or more started out as a local bookmaker back in the day and honed their craft that way. And that combination of that experience plus their mathematical prowess catapults them into that type of position. And of course, when they do get an odds maker job at one of the casinos, they're under a lot of scrutiny for a short amount of time anyway, to make sure that it's not an easy job. But I would say that for the most part, because the major casinos in Vegas, the sports books, and now in the States, they're very good at the people they put in that position. So if you ever think you're smarter than an odds maker, that's the first sign of failure you're going to have.
Yeah. Here's a good question. How much do you take certain teams laying an egg or killing it in certain cities into effect when you look at games? Like the Mariners are 11-3 in the last 3 seasons in Oakland. I know the Mariners Trout hitting the Angels hitting in Seattle is a really big one. Trout loves to mash home runs in Seattle. So stuff like that. How much do you take that
Yeah,
into?
I mean, I wouldn't just look at that 11-3 and just stop there. I would say, well, okay, not much has changed in the Seattle roster from last year. If anything, they improved slightly. The Mariners are starting to play better on the road. I believe now they've won 7 of their last 9 on the road. Oakland is, if I recall correctly, something like 7-27 at home. They are 4-23 in their last 27 at home. They're 3-17 as a money line underdog of plus 100 or greater, and they can't score. 1.9 runs per game over the last 7, under 3 runs per game at home. I would put a lot of stock in that, but just not looking at it on the surface and say, well, the Mariners are 11-3 at Oakland. They got to be the play. You have to do a little more work than that. And then, of course, you always got to look at the starting pitching matchup and the money line. In this particular instance, let's see, today, I believe Seattle opened as a minus 120 money line favorite today. And they are currently anywhere between 123 and 130. So, I mean, that's a reasonably sized as far as laying juice. So, yes, I would put a lot of stock in that particular instance.
For me, how much attention do you pay to like getaway days? Like that might be the like Seattle smashing, but tomorrow Seattle's got to go somewhere else. So maybe this isn't the game that trend continues on because they've got something else going on. Does that matter to you at all?
Not really, because, it's not like the NFL that plays 16 games a year, college football that plays 10 games a year or 12 games a year, excuse me. So it's a 162 game season. You don't look ahead in Major League Baseball, so it's a whole different entity handicapping Major League Baseball as opposed to football or even basketball. So no, I don't put a lot of emphasis on that. I mean, I may look at, getaway days are usually a Thursday, sometimes a Wednesday. You may want to look. I'm not a big proponent of days of the week, but when I see a team is very good on a Thursday or very bad on a Thursday, I'll take a second look at that and say, okay, let me see how they do on getaway days, that kind of thing.
Right. Astros are really bad on Saturdays and Phillies are really bad on Tuesdays. That's what we know. How did you become a successful bettor?
Well, I went through a lot of pain and tribulations as a young man. Yes. And then I, really worked at honing my craft. And I started to look at what other guys were doing that were successful. I read a lot. And educated myself as much as possible. And in my younger days, I was the right-hand man of one of the big bookies here in Western New York. The statute of limitations has passed. So, and you learn I mean, it's ironic you're asking me that question. And also the question about the odds makers. It's unbelievable how much you learn on the other side of the table first that you could apply to your own specific handicapping daily. I learned that you need to start looking at where the money's going, that more times than not, the public is on the wrong side. Not always. You can't put a lot of stock in that, but little things like that I picked up, Allie. And then I was always extremely good in math. And regardless of what anybody tells you, numbers don't lie and liars don't figure.
I like that. Do you remember Kurt Alexander?
Kurt Alexander.
He used to be a capper with us. He's a good friend of mine. We were watching the hockey game for a little bit last night, and he said it was an under all day long with the game like 8-2 or whatever that game 3 was, or 6-2. Why wouldn't they hang that at a 6.5? He was like, that line just looked wrong. With that should have been a 6.5 all day, and because it was a 6, it was an underplay and stuff like that stands out.
Yeah, you have to. Chip looks at stuff like that. I mean, that's basically his foundation. Chip Chirimbus, I'm referring to, of picksandparlays.net. And it's a good thing to look at. No, I'm not a Jersey guy. I'm a Western New York guy, Rochester, New York, about 60 miles east of Buffalo. Um, anyway, I'm sorry I answered that,
No, you're good.
gentleman. But yeah, I mean, especially when you look at stuff in college football and college basketball, you'll see a line that will stick out to you and just looks not right.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't look right, they're begging you to take the other. They're begging you to take what, uh, quote unquote, is the obvious play. And I'll take a look at that and look for every reason to go the other way against
Yeah.
the obvious play. So
Do you, when you look, like for me, I pretty much use the last 5 and then I'll use the last 10 depending on what I'm trying to stat out. Um, what do you look at? Is it
I,
recent form?
Yeah, I mean the normal thing for me is to look at the last 7, and as far as a team performance goes, I'll look at how they're hitting, what their slugging percentage is, and that's especially important when you're looking at totals. I look at on base percentage and think that's a heck of a lot more important than a team batting average. So a team might be hitting 264 as a team, but their OBP is 354 over their last 7, which tells me that they're getting a lot of opportunities. And then from a pitching standpoint, I'll start out looking at the last 3 of a starting pitcher. Um,
Mhm.
and then if I may extend that further, if I see he's on a good roll or a bad roll.
Mhm.
So, for example, I mean, again, Joe Musgrove. I mean, over his last 5, I think his ERA is 0.60. And this guy is also 12 starts this year. He's gone 6 or more innings on each occasion and allowed less than 3 runs or less on each occasion. So that's where I would extend it a little more, especially if I'm leaning toward one side or leaning on going against a starting pitcher like that. That would sway me away.
Do you have days of the week that pay off better for you?
Nah, that goes back to it's coincidental, folks. You know what I mean?
Nuh-uh, I
Uh,
suck on Mondays, I promise.
yeah, well, I mean,
Promise.
everybody's different. Younger people that do this might be stuck on Mondays because they like to have a good time over the weekend. So I'm at that age where I love to have a good time, but that's not a consistency on a weekend basis. But I'm really really picking at straws here, but I don't believe in. I think anything along those lines is purely coincidental.
It's really just baseball for me. I'm okay during other sports, but baseball Mondays aren't good for me. They don't work out. It's
Yeah, they're
something about
usually a
them
small
moving
card.
teams.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's usually a small card on a Monday or an
Mhm.
abbreviated card. You'll never get a full card on Mondays because a
Yeah.
lot of the off days come on Mondays and Thursdays for the most part, right, Ellie? So that
Mhm.
might have something to do a little about it. That where the board shrinks, you don't have as many options, and for a volume player like you, that may affect you. I mean, again. I'm just trying to be rational about why that may occur.
Right. No, I feel you. There's something that I just miss. I like to see how they're playing before they play each other, and Monday is that first game for a lot of series, so I think that's part of it too. Ricky wants to know, do you think different books' public consensus reports differ?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
100%. So what I like to do is when I look at that, find something you're very comfortable with. I use the Action Network myself for this. I think it costs me a nominal fee a year.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of stock into what they put out because they put out the consensus reports in terms of what he's referring to, folks, is public betting trends. How many percentage of the bets have gone on a certain team, and then you compare that to the amount of money that equates to. So what you want to do is find one that you find to be very consistent. And I would, when you start looking at each sports book and their consensus reports, it gets a little bit overwhelming and confusing. I would just try to narrow it down to one specific spot you look and feel confident in their ability to put out accurate numbers.
Right. Yeah, I have my one spot that I look for free, but I know it's not always accurate just from like talking to other people, that we'll both be looking at it at the same time. And I know that it's not right. But mine's free. So it's just more of a gist of it. You don't get the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's a credible site, though. I will say that it's not a non-credible site. I think it's just because I don't pay for it. It's maybe not as on point.
What, you're talking about action? Yeah. What are you talking about?
I can't say it on air.
Oh, okay.
Rickett says, I think also like Verlander has faced not great teams, so had great numbers. And then he faced tougher teams with much different results. So like basketball strength of schedules for pitchers, I factor in. I do that as well. And then like, especially the other day, I was on Joe Madden's show and I gave out a pick for the Diamondbacks and the Padres. And, like when you look at how many runs the Diamondbacks have scored compared to what they allowed, but then you realize that in one game they allowed 11 runs, which is like totally off their deal. Then you readjust. Same thing with the Padres. I think it was like, 36-27 is what they scored and allowed. But the Padres had one game with 19 runs in it, which doesn't happen for them.
Yeah.
You take that out. Now it's like totally out.
Yeah,
now they actually
skew.
allow more than they score.
Yes, it's a skew. To answer his question, Ricketts' question, I look at stuff like that. I mean, you could look at Verlander, how he's done against teams that currently have a winning record versus how he does against teams that currently have a losing record. Certainly that comes into play. I mean, how does he do against teams that are hitting 265 or better as a team, compared to other teams that don't do as well? So yes, that's always a consideration.
So much to think about. There
I
really,
missed
really
one
is.
more question here. We just missed.
Oops, sorry. Hold on one sec. I don't know. I lost it.
It's okay.
Who is it?
For whoever what that was on the screen, if you could send it again, I'd be more than willing to answer it for you. Let's not fall in love with these 5 and 6 teamers, folks. Still, so
it's their thing.
Yeah,
it's what they do. I've been trying for 2 years to talk them off of those, and then
please don't ask me no questions about that because you're not going to like the answer. So
yeah, that's just it. What about day and night splits? Do you look at day and night splits for pitchers?
Absolutely, 100%. I do. Okay, I look at team day and night splits. I look at pitchers day and night splits. I look at bullpens day and night splits. There's a lot to be said for that.
What about lefties versus righties? Do you put a lot of focus on like certain teams just hit lefties and certain teams just hit righties well?
Yeah, I mean, certain teams fare well against lefties. Again, to bring up the Padres, they're 17-7 versus left-handed starting pitchers, and they hit like 40 home runs in those 24 games. So something like that stands out to me, and then who are they facing? What kind of quality left-handed pitcher are they facing on that particular day?
Right.
Certainly, absolutely, Ellie, I definitely do. And, you tend to look more at the left-handed when they're facing a left-handed starting pitcher because the majority of games are going to be versus righties. That's why they tell you if you have a kid, teach them how to pitch left-handed if you want them to get to the majors. So,
Sean Austin, I'm on the Astros, so I don't know. Do you have a feeling Yankees money line, run line
on tonight's game? Yeah, I mean, I think that's I like the pitching matchup. I know Tejon has been a little bit shaky over the last 3 starts, but he's pitched very well over the long haul. And Framber Valdez is terrific on the road. A 1.61 ERA on the road in 7 starts. And the Astros have played 5-1-1 to the under in those starts. So, you look at this Houston team and you think of those high-powered offenses they've had in recent years. Now, they are hitting better of late, but this is a top under team in baseball right now this year. So, If you look at their splits in terms of over and unders, even on the road and home, it's consistent and it's consistently high toward the under. So something to keep in mind there.
Brian says, I feel that when lines open up, say like minus 120, then moves immediately to say minus 150, are the teams sharps money? Those are the teams that the sharp money is on rather than later when public money moves the line. Do you feel the same? So yeah, when should we look at when that moves?
Yeah, I mean, early line movement and late line movement is usually has to do with sharp money. Now, there are occasions why that line might have went to minus 120 to minus 150. So you have to look beyond just that line movement. Okay, has there been a starting pitcher change? Is key players out of the lineup for the underdog? I mean, are they resting a guy who's hitting 350 and is their top RBI guy? Those are the type of things that I look for when I see an abrupt and early line movement like that. But to answer the question, yes, more times than not, it's sharp money that would move a line from minus 120 to minus 150 as long as everything is the same from the opening line to the movement. And what I mean by that is it's the same starting pitchers. There's no critical players out that day. The starting lineups are basically what they would have been on a normal day. Then I would say, yes, that's, a sure tell sign of sharp money. Let's face it, sharp money, folks, is people who bet a lot of money and people who are consistent winners in the sports book's eyes. And public money is not going to move a line from minus 120 to minus 150 within the first hour it's on the board. Right. Public money, there are a lot of public bettors that are big bettors, but I would say that over 90% of public bettors don't qualify in that regard.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Pedro says, I've been making more money with straight bets and round robins since I listened to Allie on not doing parlays. So thank you. I mean, you're welcome. I'm
not a parlay advocate, but certainly round robins, if you are going to play parlays, is the way to go because what you're hoping to do is hit 2 out of 3 and make a little bit of money. And, if you hit all 3, you hit the jackpot. And if you lose all 3 or lose 2 to 3, you're probably going to lose a lot less money than if you played them all straight.
Lenny, Pedro hit 4 round robins yesterday, but Lenny is who got him into that. Lenny's really good at round robins. That's kind of
round robins. Now we're talking Major League Baseball round robins. Okay, so I'm not a proponent of, for example, a round robin that has 3 money line favorites of 140, 135, and 140. I mean, right. Because even if you hit 2 out of 3, you're either going to break even or lose money still.
Yeah, I like it with plus money dogs. That's what I'm looking to round robin is plus money dogs.
And especially with these run lines now, I mean, there's if you look and really dig deep, you'll find, like Ellie just said with the LA Dodgers, if you like the Dodgers to win the game, 75% of the time they've covered the run line too. And that number, again, to repeat myself, was even higher than that to begin the year, probably the first 2 months of the year. So there are teams out there. You want to look at the percentage of times they win by 2 runs or more, just on the win column, if you like them to win that day. And that'll get you away from these stupid minus 160 and minus 170 bets, so.
Yeah, I'm not into that. It's 150 or below. And even like I've said it before, even if it's 150, I got to really freaking like you. I got to be into it at this point.
I mean, if it's the playoffs and it's a 1-game situation and there's only 1 game on the board that day, which doesn't happen in Major League Baseball until postseason time, or limited, even on a day in the Major League Baseball playoffs where there's only 3 games on the day, you might entertain going somewhere around minus 150 because of the choices, and you get more. To me, it's a lot easier for me to handicap a game when there are 2 good teams. And then if a team's minus 150, that's a perfect example right there. What you touched upon earlier, Ellie, is For example, if the Dodgers are playing the Mets and the Dodgers are minus 150, okay, those are the two best teams in the National League. And
Right.
that's a pretty high number with that being considered. Now, what's the starting pitching matchup? And then you go from there.
Yeah. Oh, and I will second that. Oh, he'll second that move with straights versus parlay. Straight bets all day, unless I'm feeling a pretty good prop bet parlay of no more than 3 legs. And I've always said, straight bet your parlays. If you're going to do all the work to come up with these bets that you think all of them will cash, straight bet them, and then put a little bit on your parlay. And that's a lottery ticket. So if one of those misses, it's not all your work just goes in the garbage. You
Yeah,
cash
and
the stuff over
if you're
here.
red hot, okay, and the numbers are right, then you bet all three, and then you bet a 3-team round robin. And I always leave the 3-teamer out, by the way, folks. I forgot to mention that. When you bet a round robin, it's very enticing to bet 3 2-teamers and a 3-teamer. By adding the 3-teamer, you're going to lose money if you hit 2 out of 3. So I know that's what I mean. If you're going to bet a round robin and also bet the 3 games straight, you use 2 out of 3. If you hit 2 out of 3 straight and 2 out of 3 on the round robin, you're making money. So
Right.
you have to be smart too. I mean, it's just not about just betting a round robin. It's
Right.
live. So.
Yeah. That's it's like creating a parlay where I really like these guys to win all by themselves. Are you
Does
watching
Leonard Wenson is Leonard Wenson available? Is he there?
Sugar balls.
I'm here. What did I do?
Leonard Wenson, the first junior. Do you use a 3-teamer on your round robin parlays?
Yeah, I do the 2s and the 3s.
You should get away from that.
I know.
I mean, you may have hit all 3 a couple times, but I mean, you always want to err on the side that you want to make sure you're making a profit out of it when you hit 2 out of 3.
The majority of my round robins are during football season when I'm talking like minus 110s. And
but even
like
then,
that,
Allie, even then, Lenny is they're all 110s, right? So $100 parlay, and I'm using hypothetical numbers.
Right.
I know
round numbers, right?
Okay, so $100 parlay, 2-team parlay at minus 110 will play $260. All right, so if you hit all 3, obviously you win $780. You hit the jackpot. Right. But if you hit 2 out of the 3, you're going to pick up $60. If you use the 3-teamer as an equal $100 play, you're going to lose $40 by hitting 2 out of 3. Again, don't fall in love with early success on using that 3-teamer every time. Because
so my particular strategy is like if I got like three football teams, just for hypotheticals, all minus 110, I'll bet. And just where you're choosing round numbers, I'll throw say $100 on each team each bet individually, and then I'll throw 50 on the 3-teamer.
So
just in case I have a really good day.
You're not betting a round robin. You're betting a 3-team parlay.
I'm betting all 3. Well, yeah, I'll throw 50 on the 3-teamer and then throw 50 on the 2-teamer. And then I'll throw 3 single bets on all football teams.
And I'm telling you unequivocally.
So I guess 5 bets.
That's not smart money management. Because look, anytime you hit 2 out of 3, you want the bookie to pay you. Okay. Yeah. You don't want to ever lose money by hitting 2 of 3 bets. And you're losing money by doing that. I mean, so you're losing money on the round robin. Okay. I understand you won 2 out of 3 and the round robin's in a smaller proportion than your straight bets. But the idea is with that round robin, make that a whole separate entity than your 3 straight bets. If you look at it like that, again, it's a matter of preference, but I'm telling you.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but it makes sense.
If you have to look at every situation you bet and put you in the best possible advantage. And by betting a 3-teamer in the round robin, you are not, because you're not assuring yourself of a profit by hitting 2 or 3. Otherwise, just bet the 3-teamer then. You know what I mean?
Right. Just bet.
You're going to lose money anyway if you're hitting 2 out of 3. And I'm not a proponent of betting a 3-teamer. The only thing I would alter from what you're doing right now is just eliminate the 3-teamer. Bet 3 2-teamers. Okay, so
2
now if you're
teamers.
2 out of 3 on your straights and 2 out of 3 on your round robin, you collect on each one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Now,
don't hate
you know,
that.
So
what
bet
you
it by
do with it
twos
is,
instead of 2s and 3s is
Better by
basically it.
2s instead of 2s and 3s.
listen, I just saw, I'm a parlay guy and I'm very successful at it. And with all due respect, and I am a parlay guy, I'm very successful with my parlays. Omar, I don't know you, but you're full of shit. Okay, so let's move on.
Don't say that to my guests.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes I'll bet a parlay going into it knowing full well I'm cashing out. I don't have cash out option. In Vegas, we don't
Yes,
get
you
cash
won't have
out.
cash out. That's like a thing.
They're not
And
letting
my
us cash
parlays are like 3 teams. Like anything over 3 teams for like a 4 or 5, I consider a lottery ticket. Like I'm just that's a lottery ticket. Like I buy go buy a scratcher. Okay,
Yeah,
you got a
it's,
better idea buying the scratchers.
I guess a popular thing these days, in when it comes to parlay betting in Major League Baseball, is okay. Three quarters of the board today is minus 155 and above. So I'll bet a 3-teamer with a minus 200, a minus 170, a minus 160. You know, I guess you know the probability is better, but the payoff is what you put up, and the reward you get is very small. I'm not. Listen,
I don't think a lot of people today.
And I don't mean nothing against Omar, Ellie.
Right. I know you're.
But listen, I'm the type of guy. If you don't know me by now, I'm a straight shooter, and if I think you're full of baloney, I'll tell you. Okay, and I'm not helping you by saying that's great, Omar. You're a great parlay player. There's no great parlay players. There's not. You know, you might have some success for a short amount of time. It's like these morons right now that call themselves professional sports handicappers. This business is diluted with. They have 3 weeks of making sports bets and say, hey, let me create a website. I'm a pro. You know, professional, that word professional comes from years of success. And when you get a guy like Omar that says, I'm a great parlay better, and again, I'm picking on Omar and it's nothing personal. I would say, Omar, go to a website that monitors you, or go to an independent source and I don't hate the player. I just think that what you're saying, you're full of baloney, Omar. Come on, my man. Be serious here. What'd you do? Hit 3 parlays this week and think you're a successful parlay player? You know, come on, man.
I know it's getting heated.
No, it's not getting heated. I'm getting animated. There's a difference. I'm Italian, man.
Yeah,
I
always
understand.
heated.
I can care less. You know, listen.
I'm just tired today. Y'all know how I roll.
No, but you know what I get tired of, Ellie? I've dealt with this for 20 years. Okay,
Yeah.
People telling me they're so good on their own doing this. Now, if you told me that I'm a 57% straight better through the course of the year and made a ton of money, God bless you. I think that's very possible and quite possibly very realistic. Okay. But when you come on a show and tell me I consistently win on parlays, there's no such thing. You're full of
You're not built
baloney.
for that.
So that's it.
That whole mentality is kind of how this show started. It was actually Elliot V's in the chat, and then Silky Man is another guy who comes in here, and it was they would come in and say, I hit this, I hit this, I hit this. And so this show kind of became all right, let me write your picks down. Let's have a contest. Let's see who. And then the handicap baton is 60 picks, 30 days. That's really the put your money where your mouth is contest. That if you think you can do this for a profit, I'll give you a shot to.
Exactly. This is how they communicate.
This is how we communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see my hands moving, right? So don't be mistaken. Benjamin's my middle name, folks. Okay. So, you know, when I started out in this business, I couldn't use my Italian last name on the radio back in the day, believe it or not. And also because you need to protect your privacy. You know, there's a lot of lunatics out there. And nothing against anybody who's viewing right now. But, you know, they're isolated and they're in a vast minority, but they're out there. It just became an action movie.
I know. Only good on Tuesdays.
Yeah, so
Tate says something. Sean Higgs says this. Sean Higgs says this too, but Tate says, I'm great at parlays. I make a 14 parlay and always go 3-1. But
there you
Sean
go.
Higgs always says if you want a 3-in-1 day, make a 14 parlay.
That's Sean? That's Sean Higgs?
No.
No,
Sean always says that.
Sean,
I love your
Sean Hicks
honesty.
says,
I know parlays are fool's bets, but I love playing 3-teamers.
Yeah, I mean, look, for like Ellie says, she bets $10 a play. I mean, if you're betting 3-teamers for $10, you're not hurting yourself a lot, okay? And if you hit one, you need to, let me see, lose the next 4 to break even. I get all that, okay? But if you're out to be serious about making money, and especially if you have a substantial betting bankroll and you're playing anywhere from even $100 a game or more, trust me, folks, if you're using the majority of your gambling bankroll to just play parlays, you're going to be having to look for another source to refund your gambling bankroll very soon.
Ross Benjamin for president.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, parlay.
I can't do any worse than the
betting
guy
for
we
making
got right now. That's for damn sure.
So we are just
Man, oh,
about out
man.
of time. I want to remind everyone, if you're looking for
Yeah.
Ross's best bets, the premium plays, head over to picksandparlays.net and use the promo code NHL. That's going to save you 20% off whatever you buy from Ross. Ross, tell them what you've got going on over there.
So the name of the site is picksandparlays.net. And per our conversation we just had, concentrate more on the picks than the parlays, folks.
Yes.
Anyway, it's just the name of the site. That's all it is. Nobody's encouraging you to play parlays. Anyway, I have a 3-teamer going to, or 3 games going tonight, all in the same package. Major League Baseball, 2 totals and a run line play. And my Major League Baseball took it on the chin last night, Ellie, 0-3. Still 15-10 over the last 25. My run line plays 9-2 over the last 11, and my totals 9-5 over the last 14. So I got a run line and 2 totals. You can see I've been doing very well with those specific picks. And also my 10-star top plays are something to keep an eye on. 6-2 with my Major League Baseball 10-star top plays this year, which are my best bets. And as you can see, I'm very particular and selective when I put those out. And since the start of last year, 48-25 with those plays. And I don't give out big chalks, folks. So 66% from me, 48-25 is going to make you a ton of money in terms of return on investment.
Yes, sir, it will. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We will see you again next Thursday. We'll do this whole thing again so you guys can continue to pick Ross's brains. He's a bank of great knowledge.
I will, you know, I'll probably move my hands, and I like getting a little animated sometimes. And Omar, I love you.
That's how
buddy.
I roll.
I love you, buddy, but just understand it's not personal. I'm just telling you that you're not making a lot of money or money at all over the long haul betting parlays. So stop.
Stop it.
Thank you.
No problem. Have a great one, Ross. I'll see you later,
too.
Alligator. Thanks so much.
Take care, Lenny. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so let's recap real quick. I did put Elliot's
Did I just
play
get
up.
in trouble? I'm confused.
I feel like I was scolded, and I don't, and so was Omar. Omar, I'm sorry.
I think we're in a timeout. I'm confused. I don't know what should
We
do
might be
right
in a
now.
timeout. I'm like, it's the one time I've ever made a 6-team teaser, and I cashed it, and I like feel horrible about this right now.
And then,
You know, like I feel.
and
just
I
like,
love the fact that you're
bullshit.
like, Lenny does a round robin all the time. And then he's like,
Well,
buddy,
he said round robins
here.
were good. And I'm like, oh, Lenny likes a good round robin. And then he's like, but don't do it by 3s. I'm like, I think he does that. I think he does that. Yeah.
Shit, we're in trouble. Act normal.
I love Ross. This is what Stimmy OG was on. So I just happen to have a couple plays from the Woodies. So I'm giving them to you guys. The Alouettes in Canadian football, the Fever and the over in the WNBA. Elliot liked the Padres, Dodgers, and Mariners. Dodgers started, though. He liked the Braves on that, too. But there's that. And then Lenny's teaser was that CFL Montreal Alouettes +9 and over 37.5. Remember, he hit the one he made last time. He cashed on a 10 one time, but don't tell Ross. Oh, I won't.
Don't tell Ross. Don't tell Ross.
We don't have time for that. We don't have. We do not want that smoke. This said, Dad said, go to your room and think about it. Yeah, that was a
Ross
really.
just told me good job, but he was still disappointed in me.
Yeah, exactly.
I
know when he said I went 0-3 yesterday. I wanted to say, well, you should have got on my 16 parlay. No, I love Ross. I'm so glad he comes on and teases us. He's really fun. He's a fun guy. He sounds more stern than he actually is. But I mean, he's stern because he wants us to make money. You know, it's one of those things. It's like when I'm watching somebody lay 15 points in a basketball game and like my soul just dies, you know, like, oh my God, he feels that way about us throwing our money away. Because in his line of work, the enemy is the odds maker. You know, the goal is take money from the book, not give it to him.
Facts.
Will you please check out our good friend Omar? I'm sure he meant no harm. Omar, are you okay? I'm sure Omar.
Are you all good?
I was honestly laughing out loud at one point.
Yeah.
Stern passion is a good thing. Yeah, that's just it. We're just all
just how he talks.
Fun. Yeah.
Like,
Okay, well, it is time. It's 11:02. Everyone head over to Just Parlays with Chris King. Follow Ross Benjamin at Ross Benjamin1. He'll be back this Thursday or next Thursday as well. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Good luck, unless you're against Lenny or on a parlay. Also,
play that shit.